Regular meeting of the Sacramento Metropolitan Fire District Board of Directors. And I did not see any Girl Scouts out. Correct me if I'm wrong, anyone? Nope. Hearing none and seeing none, would everyone please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. All right, Metro Cable announcement. The open session meeting is videotaped for Cablecast on Metro Cable 14. Replay on Saturday, March 24th at 1 p.m. and Monday, March 26th at 6 p.m. on Channel 14. Webcast at www.sacmetrocable.tv. A DVD copy is also available for checkout from any library branch. The open session meetings are also available for viewing on the district website at www.sacmetrofire.ca.gov. All right. At this time, we have the public opportunity to discuss matters of public interest within district jurisdiction, including items on or not on the agenda. I have no speaker cards confirming. Fine. We'll move on to the consent agenda, and Chair will entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I would approve the consent agenda, please.
First and second, please call the roll. Mr. Director Clark.
Director Monk.
Aye.
Kelly.
Aye.
Barzali. Scheidegger.
Aye.
Clark. Aye. Jones.
Aye.
Directors Gould, Newcomer, Pearson, absent. Motion passes.
All right, thank you. We'll move on to our action items. We have number 1 is a revision to current board policy. Chief Wells, alternate work schedule policy 21.006.02. Welcome to the podium, Chief.
Thank you, Directors. Mark Wells, Deputy Chief of Administration. Tonight's policy committee meeting where we were going to do a formal approval and recommendation to the full board was canceled due to a lack of a quorum. So we've, consult with the president of the policy committee, or the chair, excuse me. We're going to bring that to you in a month after the next policy committee.
Okay, so there's no timeline that supersedes a committee reprisal first?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Chief. All right, the second one, I forgot, it's me. Here we go, CSDA Board of Directors call for nominations, Region 2, Seat A. I wanted to extend the opportunity for any fellow director who wanted to be nominated, and or if anyone had someone that they wanted to nominate, that our board could. We don't have to nominate anyone, but I wanted to make sure that if any of my fellow directors wanted to participate, I for one would be more than happy to support a nomination. Are there any takers?
Are there any takers?
Yes, sir. Mr. Director Kelly.
No, are there any takers? I'm asking you.
That is the open question for our meeting now. I have heard no one.
Let me be more direct. Are you willing to continue?
Am I continue? I don't think I am current.
President Jones, if I may,
here we go. All righty, thank you. Self-examination is always best.
For clarification, we don't have anybody currently in that seat.
Right.
I can say that for the last time I believe this was up, and I believe it would still be the case, I know that Director Pearson had an interest, and I think this board nominated him last time, though he ended up not being successful in, I believe it's if I remember right, it's nomination, so it's by election.
Right. We have to nominate in
right.
the larger
So
group.
The only one that I was aware of that who may not be here tonight was I know that Dave Pearson in the past had been interested, and I think he still has that interest.
Chief, thank you for that reminder. I had not heard from Director Pearson, but in light of he's not here, but his ongoing interest, I would like to nominate Director Pearson for, this is again for nomination, and then you go into the larger election pool. So as chair, I'd be willing to nominate Director Pearson. Is there a second?
'Would you have any desire to In light of the fact that Mr. Pearson wasn't successful last time, maybe we should switch ours.
Bump it up.
Yeah, I think just to add to that, it's an excellent point. It really takes Rusty Dupre. We need to do some work on our end on that. And I think last time when this happened, we were right in the middle of administration changes last February and March, and we really weren't able to successfully support that in the level. And so it doesn't have to be Director Pearson by any stretch. If somebody else that's here wants it, that would be to him not being here. And he did not ask me for this time, but he had said he had continued interest.
Oh, okay.
I'd like to
when
throw
is the
in
deadline?
Madam Chair's suggestion to do it if she has the time. We do need a representative that has a broad experience in special districts and other areas, and I think she'd make an excellent choice if she has the time and the interest.
I believe there was a quarterly meeting requirement, and at least the meetings are in Sacramento, which beats Cal LAFCO alternate, where you have to go out of town often. Second Friday. Quite frankly, I don't want to, if Director Pearson still has an interest in this, I don't want to usurp his initial interest. I do have a standing committee meeting at this point in time with the Parkway Coalition on the second Friday of the month.
General Counsel points out that this meeting is every other month, according to the bylaws.
And on the second Friday of every other month.
Okay. Well, thank you, Director Monk. Is there any way we can split this in case Director Pearson? No? Okay.
Does this have to be made this evening, this
That's what I was
decision?
looking for the
The
drop
deadline is May
Oh.
25th.
Thank you, Counsel. Let's, the consensus of, hopefully the consensus of the board, let's take a little bit more time with this, and if Director Pearson does not care to pursue it, I'll be more than happy to represent the district on this, with CSDA. So we will have that pending per discussion with Director Pearson.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, that turned into a lot of stuff, didn't it? Jeez. Thank you, Director Monk.
President Jones,
Ma'am?
do you want to carry this over to the next meeting?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
We table the issue.
Right, thank you.
And we want to vote on that, or for the tabling part, do we need to? Thank you. All right. Presentation items. Number 1, single role paramedic program. We have Assistant Chief Daniels.
Yes, President Jones, Board of Directors, I'll start off with some preliminary comments while the Assistant Chief Daniels, Assistant Chief White, and Battalion Chief Scott Clough, who will be doing the presentation on this. In essence, what has happened over the last 11 or 12 years, as you well know, is that we have subcontracted to a great partner, AMR Corporation, for the provision of 4 24-hour paramedic ambulance transport units and two flex units. And as we get ready to give this presentation today, the economic situation that surrounds us would be the equivalent of I, with my 100-year-old body, trying to climb Mount Everest. We have lost $22 million in annualized property tax revenue. And as the board well knows, and for the public, 80% of what runs Metro Fire, 80% of our entire budget comes from property tax. So when you do the numbers and you've lost $22 million, that's a terrible, terrible loss of property tax. And unfortunately, for this coming fiscal year, HDL, the company we contracted with, is anticipating another 6.27% drop. Further in property taxes equates to another $6 million plus a year on an annualized basis, which will put us to the $28 to $30 million a year cut in revenue. approximately 25% to 27% of our overall revenue. And this has left this district with some tough choices to make. And our business is in delivering fire protection, emergency medical services, and all risk services to our citizens. And as the public knows, our union has stepped up with management, negotiated new contracts that have them paying just short of 50% of normal cost of PERS, modifying a lot of other issues in their contracts. This board of directors has reduced the compensation package of the fire chief's position of over $100,000. They have taken senior management in its entirety, where we now pre-fund retiree medical, stripped out all of the incentives, and changed a lot of the ways that we do business. We've also had to make the tough service cuts. 6 engine companies over the last 3 years have been closed because of the massive drop in property tax revenue. So we are faced with tough decisions about how we retool the way we do business and deliver it to the public. And we have to look at every way that we can maximize our boxes and increase revenue. AMR has been a great partner, is going to continue to be a great partner. In the audience, we have Carl Petroni and Jennifer Bales, who have been here with us on a regular basis and providing it. And they're still going to be the company we work with on surge protection as this presentation goes on. And we anticipate a long and prosperous partnership with them. But we're going to have to take some of this business back in-house. And this program is going to allow us to do that and accomplish several different things. Most importantly, it's going to allow us to do a public outreach to the community out there that really doesn't know a lot about how to get into the fire service and get into Metro Fire, and provide an opportunity for us to do that community outreach and improve our diversity so that we look a little bit more, or a lot more, like the community that we serve, which is important. And it's going to allow us to at least derive the revenue from that program and training those firefighters and paramedics to be firefighters, but to allow us to derive enough revenue that will be the equivalent of either closing or keeping open 2 truck companies, between $2.5 and $3 million a year. We know we're going to run out of that SAFER grant that we so graciously got from FEMA. That grant's going to expire in May of 2013. And on top of that, we have the loss of the property tax of $6 million. So these hard choices have to be made, not because we don't value the partnership of our AMR partners, the employees who work for them, but out of necessity to continue to provide all-risk fire protection and emergency medical services to our citizens. And last but not least, what I would say is that when this program gets kicked off the ground, it's this fire chief's intention, and I'm sure the board, that we will offer to any displaced employees from AMR who can meet the criteria, the opportunity, and the priority of getting reemployed with this agency, as we only feel is right. With that, those are my opening comments, and I would like to turn it over to staff to take you through the program tonight, and we'll be asking for approval to start down the road of implementation. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Chief. Chief White or Chief Daniels first?
Well, I'm going to start out.
Welcome to the
Let me
podium.
introduce everybody. I'm Assistant Chief Bill Daniels with the EMS Division. I have staff here with me, Battalion Chief Scott Clough, who's going to be presenting tonight. We're here to answer questions. Chief White, Walt White, Assistant Chief White, about the PowerPoint for us. So, and it's also we've got about 15, 16 slides to go through, and we'll get started right now.
What I'd like to do is just take a few minutes here and just kind of go over an overview of what we're going to cover this evening. And we're going to talk about a little bit of the background of our organization and the community's EMS system, the SRPP proposal, some of the benefits to the system, the next steps that we hope to take, and the fiscal impact to our organization. Currently, fire-based ALS transport within the fire service is well established in Sacramento County. Some of our predecessor agencies have provided ambulance transport since before World War II, and because of that, we have established very solid 1797-201 rights for that opportunity to provide that service. As the fire chief said, we currently enjoy a relationship with American Medical Response. It's been a very good relationship that we've had for many years, and we continue to see that happening well into the future. Our current system at this point is Metro operates 14 full-time firefighter paramedic staffed ambulances. In addition to those units, we have two 12-hour units that are staffed with overtime firefighter paramedics. AMR through contract currently provides us with 4 24-hour units and 1 12-hour unit. These are staffed with non-suppression personnel. This brings our system total to 21 ambulances within our jurisdiction. So the proposal that we're moving forward is we would like to revise the existing AMR contract. We anticipate transitioning the AMR ambulances that are currently provided to Metro to be turned over and staffed by single role paramedic program providers, which would be our paramedics in the field. In addition to that, we currently have the 2 12-hour ambulances, which are staffed by overtime personnel, and we're going to transition those also into the SRPP program. The benefits that we see from this is obviously we'll have a seamless system. All of the participants in this will be Metro Fire employees. That's not to say that we have an issue with AMR, but there is a continuation of the care that we have as we transition from our fire crews to our ambulance crews. It'll improve our organizational diversity, gives us complete control of our EMS assets, and improves the overall organizational efficiencies that we have here in Metro. So the next step, what we'd like to do is have this program adopted by 2013 with an implementation date in that year. We're going to create a classification of new limited term EMS contract employees. We're going to immediately begin recruitment of the single role paramedics and EMTs, and we're going to create three new EMS captains positions, which are funded through the revenue that is generated through this program. The recruitment on this program is we anticipate recruiting both paramedics and EMTs. They'll go through a standard written test, physical agility, oral interviews, and we anticipate that this process will run concurrently with our current firefighter paramedic entrance exams. What this will do for us is it creates a new pathway into Metro Fire and the fire service in general. One of the problems that we face in the fire service is many years ago we started out with having to be 18 years of age and a driver's license to be a firefighter. And then we required EMT, and then we required paramedic, and then we required a firefighter 1. And we've reduced the pool of candidates. Although very highly qualified, the number of candidates has diminished. By allowing us to recruit at the EMT level and the paramedic level, we can expand not only the pool of individuals, but the diversity of the individuals that we're recruiting. We'll still maintain qualified applicants, and we'll give them a very clear pathway to becoming firefighter paramedics in the organization. What we anticipate for our academy is a 4-week didactic classroom training. This will encompass what we currently do with our firefighter paramedics, which is a 2-week EMS academy. We'll expand that to a 4-week academy that will also encompass fire department organization, operations on the fire ground, interactions within the fire service community, and orient these individuals to the fire service way of life. That'll be followed by 4 weeks or 10-shift ride-along with our current medic program, and that'll be to evaluate the candidates to ensure that they are truly capable of providing this service. So the benefits that we're looking at for our employees, they're consistent with the industry standard as far as a package. This is still pending a labor management agreement. What we envision in this is a 3-step process or a 3-step pay grade. These positions being limited term, what we anticipate is bringing an EMT in, giving that individual 3 years to obtain the level of paramedic, and then once a paramedic, give that individual 3 years to obtain the firefighter 1 certificate, which qualifies them to enter the fire paramedic ranks. It's interesting that this pay grade that we've selected is very compatible with the private sector, and the benefits package brings that up even a higher level. Our third step EMT is equivalent with our first step paramedic, so there is a gradual pay grade that they'll receive with each year of service. What is unique to this program is it will require the adoption of a new work schedule for these individuals. To staff this program, it's going to require 44 new positions. Minimum staffing is 22 paramedics. The remaining 22 positions can be filled by either paramedic or EMT. It's the goal of the program that we have an equal number of EMTs with the paramedics. We would transition this one group of individuals into a 2-platoon system. They'd work 12-hour shifts. This is consistent with what our dispatch personnel currently work. The 3 EMS captains would continue to work the same suppression schedule that they're currently assigned to. The important thing about the EMS captains, it provides 24-hour supervision on not only these individuals, but all of our paramedics. It allows those individuals to deal with CQI issues immediately in the field and also provide coverage and oversight for all of our paramedics. Our logistical needs to launch this program require 5 ambulances. These are currently in our existing inventory and require no investment into new units. Power gurneys will have to be purchased. Our cardiac monitors will have to be purchased. However, we are currently in a bid process to upgrade our monitors, and this will be included in that process. We'll have to purchase stair chairs to make them compatible with our existing units, and the EMS captain has a vehicle that's currently in our existing inventory. These individuals will look and appear as any other employee of Metro Fire. They'll wear a standard Metro Fire uniform. They will have a badge. They'll be provided with a suppression helmet and a paramedic or EMT shield consistent with their rank. They'll have an EMS-style protective coat, which will look very similar to a turnout coat, and be provided with work gloves. This meets all of the OSHA requirements. It also meets all of state EMSA's requirements for paramedics. So the fiscal impact to start this program and to launch it, this was based upon our current recruitment and testing and academy. The recruitment runs about $150,000. Our academy is running $670,846. Uniforms are about $44,000. The equipment purchase would total $200,000, and to launch this program would be a little over $1 million. The annual personnel costs, because it is a 3-tiered system as far as their pay grades, the first year would be $3.7 million, the second year would be $3.8, the third year would be $4. So there is a gradual increase, but the difference in the steps between each pay rate is fairly minimal and would not show a substantial impact. So the overall fiscal impact of the organization, based upon the numbers that we have, this program should generate approximately $6.8 million. The staffing requirements for this program are $3.7 million. The equipment replacement cost of $350,000 includes replacement of 2 ambulances on a yearly basis and any upgrades to additional equipment. And the operating cost to run these ambulances is just under $250,000. All said and done, we expect to have a net revenue of about $2.5 million. Background, it's a standard service that we've provided in this county. Our current EMS system is relatively unchanged. All we're doing is adding some additional resources. This proposal is solid, it's sustainable. It meets our needs for our organization to help restore lost services. The benefits to the citizens, they won't see any change. It'll be seamless from what we currently enjoy. The next steps that we need to do is adopt this program and the timeline to implement it. The fiscal impact speaks for itself. And we're open for any questions.
I have one quick question. On the 3 EMS captains, are those people presently captains, or will these be new appointments?
These would be new positions as we've laid this program out.
Okay.
Although they are new positions, they are funded completely through this program. It doesn't impact our current staffing document.
And if I can add to that, I think one of the challenges that the fire service has been having, and probably not just this county, but other counties as well, is that it's difficult for us in these tough economic times. We don't have the ability or the luxury to have a captain that's assigned out there 24-hour shifts. In other words, when something major happens, or we've got a CQI issue, or somebody needs to go to the hospital in a supervising capacity about what a medic or an EMT did or didn't do, or what happened out in the field on an incident in a timely manner. And as we well know, when you have challenges that occur, nipping it in the bud right away is the most important thing with good open communication. We don't have that today. So this program is going to allow us to have one of those captains, and he or she is going to be available 24 hours to not just do that, but also to participate in training, both the fire medics as well as the civilian medics that are going to be in this program. So it's a huge value add to the program as far as quality control. And it's something that our own medical director has been suggesting since I've been here in 2009 that we do that, and this program allows us that opportunity.
I fully support the 3 captains' positions, and I'm just amazed that we've been able to address operational questions and issues that come up without having that. I mean, kudos to the medic EMS division for being able to handle that. I think it'll run a lot smoother, a lot more efficiently with those that supervisorial level embedded in the new program. And additionally, the potential for recruitment is just huge. And this is just the kind of shot in the arm that the fire service needs. So I'm fully on board and supportive for this program. Director Kelly?
On the projected revenues that you guys are anticipating, you've taken into consideration the fact that we don't collect the full amount that we bill for. Please tell me you have.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
We've calculated all that in there, and these are relatively conservative numbers.
I'd like to add to that the EMS division, as you saw this year in the budget, they give the number for the budget that you and I get to hear, and then they have this number in their head that they don't tell us, and all of a sudden it's fairly substantially larger because they don't want to be on the wrong end of overestimating what the revenue is. And so what I'm basically saying is that this is a pretty darn conservative number that they've thrown out there. And that's the leadership intent is that let's go on the conservative side and keep it low. And then the other issue that I kind of wanted to echo that Director Jones brought up is, and it kind of went over briefly in the slide, but I know that some directors are exceedingly interested in I think all directors. The recruitment potential here is not about us just giving an EMT test and saying that's where it's at. That doesn't work in a community. You're never going to get those kids that are in socioeconomically challenged areas and arenas that don't have 2 parents at home, that don't have the financial stability to get them and maintain them in school into a program or career like this. You got to start the Explorer programs up through the Boy and Girl Scout programs. We've got that in the slide. You've got to get out to these young men and women, these kids, when they're in junior high. And you've got to get them interested in the program through an Explorer program. You got to get them doing ride-outs. And then those firefighters in the stations need to work with these young girls and boys on their homework. They provide that home environment, that guidance, that mentoring ability that says, this is a great career and this is how you can get there through junior high. And you stay out of trouble with the law and you keep your nose at a grindstone through high school, and then your first semester out of high school or your senior year, you take your EMT class. So you're really trying to grab these kids in their impressionable era when they're in that 5th, 6th, 7th grade, and then take them and mentor them through that process, as Director Orzali and Gould talk about the pathways process to get them into that educational system and that job opportunity at the end that offers them a good, stable working environment and a career that they can see, they can tangibly touch. So I think that's probably one of the biggest assets in this, is that this is going to involve a lot of our people today really being the mentors and reaching out to those educational institutions that we have in our district to make that happen.
Chief White?
if I could add on, one of the things that I think really has, makes this program make sense is, when we're in the process of balancing revenue, assets, and obligations, this is an opportunity for us to capture some new revenue, but because of the in-place infrastructure we already have, we can maximize the utilization of our assets that are already in place so that we can improve our organizational efficiencies so that we can, through that new generated revenue, be a more efficient operation organization, and it actually provides us a rare opportunity rather than contracting services to actually expand them.
Huge. That's huge. And Director Sutter?
I had a couple of questions about the economics of this, of getting the program started, and Chief Klopp and Chief Daniels answered those for me in the beginning. And I just want to say that I think it makes a lot of sense. I think, as the Chief mentions, the community outreach aspects and recruitment potential are great. I particularly like the business aspect of it too, the fact that we are competing for that diminishing dollar, and this is going to allow us to provide more general services of what we're trying to do to the community. So thank you, gentlemen, for your fine work, and I'm going to support this.
Director Monk?
Just a couple clarification questions that I heard. Now, the units that'll be involved in this are currently in the fleet?
The physical units? Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so the slide that said that we were going to convert the AMR wasn't a conversion, they were already there. It's just who's using it.
Yeah, that was a conversion of going from AMR providing the service to us providing the service, and the medic units is Director Monk and the directors are aware, we have been replacing some medic units with new medic units that have come on scene, so we had enough in inventory to be able to kick this off.
Okay, thanks. That's it.
Let's see, Director.
Yeah, I also, a great presentation, guys. I also support the this program. I echo the words of Director Scheidegger, especially about the recruitment and improving diversity, especially in these times. So I think it's a great program, and thank you for the chief and the personnel for their creativeness, being creative in these times, and we keep doing all kind of different things to bring revenue in, and I think that's a great thing. We're continually innovating and doing great things. I think I really support this program. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Director Clark. Anyone else? Director Rosali?
I'd just like to add that in the next 2 weeks we're meeting with the leadership of Gateway Community Charters, one of the largest charter providers in Northern California, on this specific project and helping to build this to be systemic and create pathways for our schools. This is a really, really powerful step, and I'm very proud of the work that you've done.
Thank you. Any other comments? All right, we have this down as call to action to adopt the staff recommendation, and Chair will entertain such a motion.
So moved.
Second? Moved and seconded. Thank you. Please call the roll.
Director Monk.
Aye.
Kelly.
Aye.
Rosali.
Aye.
Scheidegger.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Directors Gould, Newcomer, Pearson absent. Motion passes.
Okay, thank you, Madam Clerk. Moving on to item number 2, under presentation items, we have consideration of online agendas. Director Rosali, would you like to please initiate discussion on that for us?
Yes, thank you. This is prompted by my previous experience with online agenda that's provided through CSBA for the area of education. And fundamentally, the question before us is whether or not the board has an interest in our pursuing online agendas with other providers. There are other agencies that provide this service. It would mean that the agenda would be delivered to you electronically as opposed to having it come in the mail or have someone deliver it. I have had some great folks come out and actually hand deliver me the agenda, and as much as I enjoy the conversation and the interaction, I'm sure that there's something else they could be doing that would be productive. So the question is, what is the level of interest on the part of the board?
I wouldn't have to have those 3 file cabinets in my office full of board documents that I've currently got. I could get rid of those.
That's what that would
Fire hazard,
mean.
we're going to sick the fire marshal on you. I have a question for discussion here, but yes, I think it can be much more efficient. And if we need to print out something, we can do it at home. If we need a certain report printed out. But I wonder, it seems, if my recollection serves me, several years ago there was already this option, and we did it in-house. So I'm for the electronic version. With the caveat, we can have the backup with printed if we want it. But then I don't see any reason for us not to be able just to do this in-house. If someone wants to enumerate the advantages of taking it, having someone else come in and do it, I'm more than ready to listen, but it just seems something that we should be able to do on our own within the district.
President Jones,
Sir.
actually, along with Director Orzali's comments, I think this will free up a significant amount of staff time. And I think we can facilitate that being done in-house unless there's something that I'm not aware of. I don't see why we can't do the send out to each of you. I think we can facilitate that and make that happen. So that we're not incurring any costs. Certainly we're going to save on cutting a lot of trees down on paper. And I also think that the communication medium is tough. I know that our clerk does a tremendous job. Very tough when the fire chief comes to you on a Friday at 4 o'clock and says, I got to get this in front of the directors. And she's like looking at me like going, how are we going to do that? And then hopefully Captain Johnson happened to be there that day and we get it driven around and get it delivered. So I think this is going to alleviate a lot of that. It would be much more practical for us to do it internal. And I think we could come back with a proposal if that's the desire of the board on how we would make that happen.
Well, just to clarify that point, however it's done, the goal would be to do exactly what the chief just described. There is a discussion about what level of interest in computer aptitude. One of the issues that I understand the board faced before was there were some folks on the board who were not interested in using the computers. I don't think that's our circumstance now. And so this is an exploratory venture, and how can we be more efficient?
I'm trying to think, okay, so now I've received this via electronic medium. I've gotten an email on it, and now I'm here, and I don't have my email here. Okay. So will it appear on the screen before me?
The short answer to that is yes and yes. We've entered the era of iPads. They are very reasonably priced. It's not like having to send you home with a big laptop computer and the whole 9 yards that you need anymore, number one. I think that's something that a director should probably have in just doing their everyday business. So, they would have their whatever email address they have on there. It could be on that iPad, but for district business, you're buying it for one thing and you're paying the service fee. Number two, the new boardroom that is being designed is going to be computerized, and you're going to have screens, and I would assume even terminals where you can communicate from or plug your iPad into, but you're going to have the screens and everything. So we would anticipate in this that it's much easier to have a one-time purchase of an iPad that you can carry with you. As the public should know, you don't get paid as directors. You volunteer your time and get a stipend for coming to the meeting, which is enough to probably get you a value meal deal at McDonald's. So I think it's the least we can do. We have provided printers. We have provided computers in the past, which is much antiquated, is to get that technology in your hand for better improvement of the district. So the answer on that, short answer is absolutely. We would provide you the ability to open it up wherever you're at. A lot of you have jobs or other things, and it's nice for you to be able to open up and go, this is where I'm at, and bring your iPad to the meeting. And if you forgot it, now you'll have the computer screen as well in front of the dais. The way we operate today is is 70s and 80s technology at Hurley, and we're going to be completely modernizing that.
Any other comments? Director Monk? Directors? All right. Right. Well, I think we have a very strong consensus for efficiencies as well as timeliness. No argument at all about that. So consensus to explore and come up with some a plan and items to make this transition?
If you direct staff, if that's the pleasure of the board, direct staff, we will move IT to start to, in a work group, with a representative of the board and the clerk, of course, to go ahead and start down that process.
Director Rosali, would you like to be the point person from the board on this?
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Although I call your attention to the idea of the philosophy that says the guy who has the ideas does not have to be on the committee. We seem to lose that.
It falls under be careful what you wish for.
Exactly. But no, seriously, it would be so much better than shuffling the papers. But this timeliness is a huge issue. I mean, the bell goes off and there's an urgent situation. It needs to be addressed. And the old-fashioned paper just goes so far. So we do have consensus, no violent objections. Please proceed, Chief, you and your staff, the clerk. Thank you very much. All right. Moving on to President's report. No report tonight. Next up is the Fire Chief's report.
President Jones and a board, it's my pleasure tonight to present you my report. The first thing is that each of you got an invitation on behalf of Metro Fire. We are having an appreciation luncheon recognizing Stan Van Fleck and family out at Rancho Murrieta. They're a large ranch owner. Stan and his family were very, very generous in donating a piece of land for a radio tower in the Rancho Murrieta Slough House area to improve our communications. We didn't have to pay anything for it. They have been just absolutely tremendous in their support of the fire district. And so on April 11th, 2012, which is an important date in history, because I'll be 49, from 12 o'clock to 2, we will be having an appreciation luncheon. It's going to be held at Metro Fire Station 59, which you all know is located at 7210 Murrieta Drive, Sacramento, California. And we have invites that went out to you, and we certainly hope that everybody can be there. As well, we have the third annual basketball game, Fire versus Police. I'd like to remind you, we're on a roll. We crushed them in the football game, and I'd say fairly significant. I think our quarterback passed for over 400 yards and was almost selected over the 49ers' current quarterback, but just fell short. That game, Saturday, March 31st, 2012 at 6 o'clock in the evening, and that's at Indurcom High School, 2500 New Market Drive. Again, March 31st. It's a Guns N' Hoses 4th annual basketball game pitting Sacramento and Metro Fire Departments against Sacramento Police and Sheriff Departments. And it's going to help the Sacramento Fire and law enforcement make a difference in the community. It'll support a lot of local charities. Some of those include the Indurcom High School Safe and Sober Grad Night, Sacramento County Sheriff's Toy Project, Volunteers and Victims Assistance, Firefighters Burn Institute, Mustard Seed School, Youth Services, and several other agencies. So a very worthwhile deal. I don't think we've had a lot of participation in the past. They're really looking, as far as audience, they're really looking for fans to get there and root them on. And we do not buy into the bounty program, so there won't be any of that. All right, it's, pardon me, 31st, 6 p.m. All right. As well tonight, I'd like to announce, and I brought it up at the past board meeting, it's my honor tonight to announce that I did appoint Ken Campo to the redevelopment agency commissions that are going to be Sacramento County, Citrus Heights, Rancho Cordova, and have asked for the Rancho Cordova redevelopment agency committee that Director Jones and myself will attend for those business end of things that might need to be conducted. And I've also asked Director Orzali from Citrus Heights if he wanted to attend with me in that venue as well, and any other director that, because Citrus Heights splits a district, more than welcome. It's a 7-member panel. It's going to be responsible for basically assessing the assets of the redevelopment agencies, the former redevelopment agencies, and coming up with a plan on what to do with those assets, coming up with a plan on how to pay off the liabilities in a time schedule, and then eventually how that money that is supposed to be returned to the districts is returned. And our position will be representing on those three, Sacramento County, Citrus Heights, and Rancho Cordova, all special districts. We're the largest special district in Sacramento County. That is why we have been chosen. That's the way the legislation was written. And so it's going to be an important deal. Ken Campo is undisputable as far as the most knowledgeable in our district on redevelopment. As you know, he came from a city background. And I say this joking, he ran the redevelopment agencies that took our money. So we're going to use him to figure out how to fairly and as good working partners with our two great cities, Rancho Cordova and Citrus Heights, get it back. So we'll be working on that. The other thing I wanted to add in regards to Rancho Cordova is that Ken Campo and Rhonda and staff met with them on a tax sharing agreement. We can buy and purchase and do product from outside the state of California, such as engines and the new monitors we're buying. They're manufactured out of state, the cardiac monitors. And by simply finance and Ken and Rhonda brought to our attention by having the city of Rancho Cordova, which is where our administrative headquarters is located, sign some paperwork and work with us. Instead of that money, that use tax or sales tax going to the state of California, it will now be diverted to the city of Rancho Cordova so that they'll benefit from that and help them out. I think the first purchase is going to get them about $40,000 into Rancho Cordova's hands, and they've so graciously agreed to split that with us to help the fire district out, so we'll get $40,000. So, I wanted to announce that. I think it's a great program. Anytime that we can reach out to our community partners, such as Rancho Cordova or Citrus Heights, we're going to do that. On the 11th through the 14th of this month, we had our operation people attend the Leadership Summit in Monterey, which had some great classes and networking. On the 15th, a very important day, we had both Directors Gould and President Jones attend the OPEB workshop, which had to do with the pre-funding of retiree medical. And we want to thank Rhonda and her staff from finance and the reps from CalPERS and from Bickmore Risk Services for their hard work and presentation. I got to tell you, I had a union official at the end of it say, had we understood and had a presentation like this a year and a half or 2 years ago, we'd already be pre-funding retiree medical. I mean, they really did a down to the basics. This is what we need to do to start solving our problem. And as we hear about unfunded liabilities out there, and there's a lot of people that want to throw a lot of rocks and stones at public agencies. This agency is going forward on those things, such as increasing the amount of contribution on behalf of retirement. Again, almost 50% of normal cost of PERS are what our employees contribute. I know some media events wanted to give credit to Consumnus that does 3%. We're at 12, July 1. A little bang there for our guys and gals. But pre-funding retiree medical is something that the board has got senior staff and senior management doing. And it's something that we need to do to address those unfunded liabilities. And these people just came in and did an incredible presentation. I'm sure the directors can comment on that under their reports. On the 20th, fiscal year 2013 budget planning meeting was held. And we will be scheduling budget meetings in May for command staff, division managers, and labor. We will all be sitting at the same table. We have a calendar laid out for budget. And, of course, we have the board of directors management labor workshop that's going to be coming up, where that some of that initial budget work will get overlaid into that, and then you folks will confirm whether you agree or want some changes in direction on the construction of the budget. But the first part of it really is about figuring out how much money is coming in, how much we're not going to get, and what are some of the big ticket items that we need to put forward at that planning meeting for you folks. This Friday, the 23rd, is the Sacramento Metro Fire Association retirement dinner at the Croatian Cultural Center at 6 p.m. We have a ton of retirees. I don't have a list of them, but there was like 44 retirees. That is always a tremendous event. It's sponsored by the Sac Metro Firefighters Association. It's a great dinner. I'd encourage all of you to go. I think there's still tickets there, and myself and my command staff definitely will be there. We held WebEx sessions, video conferencing for the month of March. For the month of March, I finished the last one for day personnel today for our civilian staff. And next WebEx communications are scheduled for the month of May. We're doing them about every other month, where we can get out there to the troops and let them know what's going on and allow them to ask questions. Today, we also, our staff attended the badge pinning for Mike Richwine, who was appointed as the Assistant State Fire Marshal. Mike was instrumental and ran the training division for the California State Fire Marshal office for many years, and we're very, very happy that he was appointed. Upcoming events, again, tomorrow's the SMFA retirement dinner, 6 p.m. On the 24th, I will be attending the Arden Arcade Rotary Horsepower. It's the second year of a charity poker tournament which benefits the community works and children's charities supported by the Arden Arcade Rotary. This year's co-benefactor is the Sheriff's Community Impact Program centered in the Arden Arcade area. Just so you know, myself, Sheriff Jones, Supervisor Susan Peters, and a number of area business executives are apparently the VIPs that are playing in the tournament, and there's a bounty on our head. I'm not quite sure what that means, except that people are supposed to get us bounced out of the tournament. I don't have a very good poker face, so I probably won't last long. But we have put up a tiller training thing if they win as a charity thing, where one of our truck companies will actually bring somebody out in a safe and controlled environment and let them try to steer the back of one of our ladder trucks for a tiller training for an hour or so. So I think that's very important. It's going to be 4 p.m. as registration if any of you want to come and play. I believe it's a $150 buy-in at the California Auto Museum, 2200 Front Street, Sacramento, Saturday night. On the 28th, we have a Rancho Cordova 2x2 meeting at Rancho Cordova City Hall. And on the 30th, I will be attending the League of Cities Policy Committee meeting in Ontario. And then the 4th annual Guns N' Hoses basketball games on the 31st. Again, another big event. The week of April 2nd is the 42nd annual California Fire Mechanics Academy. And we host that. The equipment showcase is at April 5th at 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. at 3034 Peacekeeper Way and McClellan Boulevard. And, you know, our mechanics, and they just do a tremendous job, and Fred Bino and Shay Purcell and all them out there, the mechanics, I'm putting this on. They have a banquet on April 5th at 7 p.m., which I'll be speaking at, again at 3034 Peacekeeper Way in McClellan. And I'd just like to say, one of our mechanics, Don, has been battling a pretty tough disease. He's been in the hospital for quite some time, and I'd want him and his family to know, Kokelberg, I think is his last name, that our thoughts and prayers are with him. And I went and visited him here this last weekend, and he's in pretty good spirits, but it's a tough haul, and we'll see what happens. So we're wishing him the best. I already mentioned the Van Vleck deal. Want everybody to be there. Please RSVP to Brenda Briggs no later than Tuesday, April 3rd. New hires, I do have one to report. It is my privilege and honor to announce tonight that we've made a conditional job offer to Ray Iverson, who will be the new fire marshal for Sac Metro. Ray comes with a plethora of experience. from both Contra Costa County as well as Benicia, where he currently is the fire marshal. It was a nationwide search. We had people interviewed from as far away as Oregon. We had people apply all the way from the East Coast. And he was a successful candidate. Comes from an area where there was a lot of diversity in regards to the issues they have to handle. Contra Costa County's got a lot of refineries. Benicia's got a refinery. This person is extremely politically astute. He is going to be a great value add to the Fire Prevention Division. It's a division that has been kind of left in a bad spot and not a lot of attention paid to it, and we need to change that. It's one of our most important divisions we have in this organization. It's our first reach out and touch to the business community, and Ray, I think, is just going to do an absolutely tremendous job in leading it there. I have no retirements, and I have no promotions to report. And President Jones of the board, that concludes my report for this evening. Thank you.
Chief, we're going to have an ops report. Yes, sir. Welcome to the podium.
President Jones, Board of Directors, Chief Hinkie, standing in for Chief Holbrook tonight. I'm here to report that since our last meeting 2 weeks ago, we've had 9 working structure fires. At those structure fires, we had some extremely highly professional firefighting done by our troops that are out on the line. So we were there for the people who needed us when in their time of need. So I hope you continue to be proud of them. We've also had Metro Fire has been dispatched to 1,892 EMS calls, of which we transported 76% of the time. AMR had 616 dispatches and transported 70% of the time. On March 21st, which is basically 2 nights ago at 3:30 in the morning, we did have an arson fire at the Sheldon High School. Our crews got there, again, did some aggressive firefighting tactics, and they stopped the fire from which was supposed to, could have caused $100,000 in damage with their attack. They stopped it at about $40,000 and saved about $60,000 in damage. The high school was very, very happy and proud of the troops that were there. The media blog went out on the social media and also to all the media outlets for any assistance that someone might have in that, and that cause is still under investigation, or the fire is still under investigation. Chief Cockrum, who, as you know, does all the social media outlet posts, has posted 10 outlets or 10 posts since the last meeting that we've had, keeping the media and the public advised of what's going on in the operations for Metro Fire. And if you have any questions for me.
Questions for Chief Taylor?
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief. Appreciate it.
President Jones, one more announcement I was handed. I wouldn't interrupt you except it's on behalf of Rancho Cordova, so I thought I should probably say it. Rancho Cordova Chamber of Commerce, Rancho Cordova Leadership Class V1 presents Gab, Gather, and Gamble. I believe Walt White is part of that. It's a mixer and poker tournament, wine tasting, Wednesday, March 28th from 4:30 to 7 p.m. at the Cordova Restaurant Casino. Mixer wine tasting's $10, poker buy-in is $50, raffles $10. They will have an assorted bottles of wineries. The wineries that will be featured are Old Sugar Mill and 3. And again, that is at the casino, and it's March 28th from 4:30 to 7 p.m. Thank you.
Good warm-up for the other poker. All right. Thank you, Chief. We appreciate all the updates. Next, we move to General Counsel's report.
No report tonight.
All right. Thank you. We have Sac Metro Local 522 report. Welcome to the podium, Captain Johnson.
Good evening, President Jones, Chief Hinkie. I've been asked to speak on behalf of Local 522 tonight. Earlier tonight, we heard a presentation with respect to the single role paramedic program. At this time, Local 522 does not take a positive nor a negative stance on the program. However, we always reserve the right to meet and confer on items with respect to wages, benefits, and working conditions. The district has indicated they're willing to do so, so we look forward to getting to the table and talking more about the program. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Captain Johnson. All right, as a reminder, what we'll do is we'll move through the committee and delegate reports, then the board member questions and comments, and then we will recess to closed session. That is an in-house business with no outside counsel. And that way, the bulk of the meeting will have taken place before the closed session, and folks don't need to hang out indefinitely, unless the chief orders them to. All righty, committee and delegate reports. All right, we have executive committee. One will be announced as soon as I get more information from our contact in regards to developing a 360 evaluation for the employees under the purveyorship of the board. Again, that will be announced as soon as more information becomes available. Committee item number 2, Communications Center, JPA. Chief Aaron? Welcome to the podium, Chief.
Good evening, everyone. Deputy Chief Dwayne Aaron, Support Services. The JPA has not met since the last time I spoke to you. Our next meeting is this coming Tuesday, the 27th at 9 a.m. at the Hurley Building. I'll take any questions if you have any.
Thank you, Chief. All right, the next one will be the California Fire and Rescue Training, JPA. Director Kelly?
Yes, the JPA has not met since I last reported out. We will meet again on the 18th of April at Cal EMA's headquarters.
All right. And my pleasure to introduce the new Finance Committee Chair, Director Monk.
And since I haven't taken over, I have no report.
You can announce our next meeting. April 12th at 5 p.m.
Thank you for doing that for me.
So we're all here together. Thank you. Policy Committee, Director Ozali.
The Policy Committee was suspended this evening due to a lack of a quorum. Our next meeting is on April 26th at 5 p.m.
All right, we'll move to board member questions and comments. Director Clark, will you please initiate?
I have none. I have no comment. Well, you know what? Yeah, I actually do. Once again, I am really in favor of this program, this recruitment program that you're talking about. I don't have the acronym down yet. I'm still working on. It gives a lot of the kids in the community an opportunity to be exposed to the fire service, and I think it's a really good thing. I'm very impressed with that, and so I'm very, very supportive of that. And also as like the captain mentioned. We need to work it out with the union, of course, and I think that'd be a good thing, and then keep everyone happy. So, yeah, that's all. But other than that, I want to thank our staff and our personnel for the good work that they do day in and day out. That's always something that I really appreciate. So, and thank you for the innovative way in which you're adjusting to the different problems that we're having in this district, Chief. I think you're doing a really good job, because every time we look around, we have another problem, and we seem to be coming up with answers to them. So that's a good thing. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Director Clark. Director Scheidegger?
I have nothing to add.
All right, thank you. I'll move over to Director Monk.
I just wanted to say a couple things about the MedTech program. I wanted to say I appreciate the cooperation from our representatives from AMR and working with the fire district, in the economic times that we're doing. They're trying to survive as a company. We're trying to survive using the taxpayer monies that we're given. And one of the mantras that I have is that we all need to work together to survive. So I really appreciate the cooperation that you are putting into the district, and the district is cooperating with you. We have been partners for a long time, and we need to coexist. And as a side note, having been involved in the juvenile fire setter programs, hi Brenda, and all of the things in the past, it is difficult for us to provide programs and avenues, especially for high schoolers and young adults, to pursue professional careers, especially the fire departments. This is a way for us to put a program together that will certainly draw a lot of very good students from our high schools and colleges around the area to get involved in the fire service. And it's hard to develop those careers and the people to move into those careers, and this is going to provide us an excellent opportunity. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Monk. Director Orzali?
I have nothing to add.
Director Kelly?
I just wanted to say that I appreciated the presentation on the single role paramedic program, and we should demand justice for Trayvon Martin. If you're not familiar with who Trayvon Martin is, Trayvon Martin was a young man in a Florida community who was killed by a neighborhood watch guy that was a little overzealous with his gun. And it's important that everybody maintain their cool and collectiveness when they're in those type of positions and they're confronting individuals that they presume are guilty for some reason but don't have any proof.
Longest huge issue. Huge issue. On a little bit lighter note, then, I would like to thank Rhonda and Ken for arranging the OPEB workshop. Thank you to the Chief's office for arranging that. Actually, I want a diploma having sat through that class. It was incredibly instructive. It has to be total immersion with numbers, statistics, actuarial tables, et cetera, et cetera. I think each and every, we had directors, we had management, we had labor, and we had the finance people. All were there. And each and every person contributed with information, questions, and really nailing down into lots of areas of concerns, and I believe reaching resolution to those many areas of concerns. So I do want my diploma, Rhonda, okay? Thank you. Thank you very much. That was very well done. So I think we're tentatively looking at May 10th in the day for our workshop. Please check your calendars and respond as soon as possible to the clerk so we can hopefully get that underway. And lastly, I would like to offer again thank you to the City of Rancho Cordova for letting us use their facility. With that, we're going to close the open session and recess to close. A couple quick items. Thank you.